There are a few things you should do periodically to keep your machine running at its best. However, you should have your machine professionally serviced at regular intervals. It's a good idea to clean around the feed dogs to remove any lint or thread bits from the whole area. If your machine manual instructs you to do so, lubricate with a drop of sewing machine oil according to the directions in the manual. Use only sewing machine oil, which is available from your Singer retailer. After oiling, be sure to sew on a scrap fabric to make sure the oil dissipates before sewing on your project. From time to time, your machine may not seem to be working properly. These problems are most often completely preventable. Let's take a look at a few common problems you could run into and how to correct them. When you sew, if you find that you have a lot of thread accumulating on the underside of the fabric, this means that you have actually threaded the upper thread incorrectly. Raise the presser foot lifter. Cut the upper thread and remove it. To make sure you have threaded the machine correctly, try this simple test. Leave the needle unthreaded and the presser foot up. Pull the upper thread toward you. It should pull freely. Now, put the presser foot lifter down and try pulling the needle thread. It should resist the pulling. If you are still able to pull the upper thread freely when the presser foot is down, this is an indication that the tension is not correctly threaded. Raise the presser foot and then completely remove the upper thread. After you have rethreaded the upper thread, put the presser foot down. If you do feel a significant difference in the tension when you pull the thread, you are now ready to thread the needle. Raise the presser foot, thread the needle, and sew. If the needle keeps breaking, check that you have the correct needle size for the fabric you're sewing. Remember, thicker fabrics require larger size needles so that they're strong enough to go through the thickness. Also, check that the machine controls are set properly for the stitch and presser foot that you are using. If your upper thread is breaking, check that you have correctly threaded the machine. Check to see if the thread groove of the thread spool itself is pointed toward the right so the thread isn't getting caught. Be sure the tension control is set correctly. If you have removed the bobbin case and reinserted it incorrectly, this could also be causing thread breakage. Check that your bobbin is free of nicks or chips around the edges as well. If your fabric doesn't seem to be moving well under the presser foot, check to see that your foot is correctly attached. Also, make sure the feed dogs are not disengaged. Check your stitch length as well.